What is up, guys? Holy crap! That round in Canada, that was crazy. I haven't seen that many crazy things on a race day in a long time. I mean, Ryan Gauld, the announcer, called it the craziest race he's seen in 25 years, and I have a hard time disagreeing with that. It was wild. So Aidan Zingg's cause of death has been released to the public, but was there a cover-up in the moto industry? I'm going to explain to you my thoughts on why they haven't reported on it and explain a little bit more about their motives. If you haven't tried Nano-Xtreme and you got some aches and pains, I'm telling you, you need to. It is the best pain solution that I've ever used. Head over to Nano-Xtreme, use code COOKSY and get free shipping. If you want to see the real side of motocross racers and life after motocross, you need to check out this interview Coach Rob did with the legend Ronnie Tishner. It is raw. It is real.
Oh, like one of my head injuries in the back of my head, it does something to like the emotional centers where it's like your emotions become unregulated and it's like they go all over the place.
And it really opens your eyes to what these riders go through during and after their careers. It's one hell of an interview and I think you should watch it. AJ Wright's Crypto and VeChain have partnered to give away Teslas, cash, crypto, swag. They are loading you guys up. All you got to do is click the link below and you're entered to win a Tesla. And if you don't want the Tesla, they'll give you $42,000 in cash, $1,500 in crypto. Like, they are going to hook you up. So click that link and get entered. You got some pretty good odds to win some stuff here.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So Canadian motocross has had some exciting days, and they've had some wild stuff happen up there above the, they've had some wild stuff happen up north. But I'll tell you what, Sunday, they set a new bar. That was the craziest day I've seen in a long time. And there were so many different reasons that made it wild. First, let's talk about Jess Pettis. So he goes out there last week at Gopher Dunes, crashes, breaks his scapula, his ribs, and I was told his lung was collapsed or partially collapsed. I was shocked that this absolute savage, and I don't think he should have been out there, but this dude is tough. Say what you want about Jess Pettis, but this dude soldiered up and went out there with a broken scapula, broken ribs, and he wasn't just salvaging. This dude was dominating that first moto. He was gone. And him and Dylan Wright, they have a real blood feud going on up there. There is no love lost. They do not like each other. They're the two best guys in Canada. Early in the season, they were winning motos by like a minute and a half over third place. They were in a league of their own, and they still kind of are. But the series has come undone for both of these guys in the last two rounds. It started with Jess Pettis missing Gopher Dunes with the injuries to his scapula, ribs, and collapsed lung. And then Dylan Wright, at that same race, ran out of gas and had this horrendous crash in the first moto. Then he won the second moto by doing it. He did a pit stop and still won. That's how much faster these two guys are than the field. And Dylan has had a couple DNFs this year, so he needs to make up some points. So he's really looking forward to this round to gain some points on Jess Pettis, get the point lead, because Jess has been a little bit better. And I think everybody was shocked that he was actually racing, so Dylan Wright's, well, I at least have to win while he's hurt, right? So he's chasing him that first moto. Jess got a whole shot and just took off, or second. Anyway, he was in the lead very early and just checking out. He was still within reach of Dylan Wright, and Dylan was coming. I mean, he was riding like a madman, and then he had this horrendous crash where he was clearly knocked out. Now, I'm a bit critical of the concussion protocol we have in the United States, but I'll tell you what, Canada, you have one-upped us on that one. You guys are loose. You set a new bar with letting guys race after injury. So Dylan Wright, laying there, what looked to be unconscious, jumps back on the bike, and I think he finished 9th in that first moto. Holy crap. And that was after tangling with Quentin Amiot early in the moto. There were some tempers flaring there, but that was a pretty bad move by Dylan Wright to come in there. I say when you do a takeout move or a block pass, if you both go down, it was a dumb move. That was a dumb move. And things were looking bleak for Dylan after that big crash. Jess Pettis way out front. And then with 2 minutes left, Jess Pettis' bike implodes. It didn't start smoking and quit. This thing looked like it just exploded. So now Dylan, he's alive again. He's got some points. He actually got more points than Jess Pettis. And he's right back in this battle. Neither of these guys has the red plate right now. Meanwhile, Tanner Ward and Phil Nicoletti are gaining points on these guys, but they both know there's enough rounds left, and as good as they are, they can go on a run and get this thing back. They're only really concerned with each other. So Dylan knows in that second moto, I gotta go out there and I gotta win and hope Jess Pettis doesn't get at least second and really make up some points and continue to give myself a shot at this championship. That's what Dylan's thinking going into the second moto. Of course, to build the drama, the race is postponed because a giant storm rolls in and floods the track. There's lightning. They have to delay it. But crazy enough, that track in that second moto, while it was a little bit muddy, it was pretty damn raceable. It wasn't that bad. But the first turn was sloppy, and there was a big pile up in the first turn. It got Nicoletti. It got Dylan Wright. It got Jess Pettis. Well, they're getting back up, and they're taking off. And at first, the first time I saw this, I went, okay, well, Dylan Wright was swerving around that downed rider. I don't think he necessarily meant to clean himself and Jess Pettis out. But then when I watch it and I zoomed in a little bit closer, you see him look. He's looking for Jess Pettis' front tire. Yeah, it was pretty dirty. It was not a good move. This was something he should not have done, and it was dirty, and I understand Jess Pettis being mad. Jess Pettis is riding wounded, broken ribs, broken scapula, lung injury. Like, he's probably not supposed to be out there anyway. And then to take that hit from Dylan Wright, oh, that was frustrating. But he said the most Canadian thing ever. He called him a dumbhead.
And Dylan, dumbhead.
Some of the things you Canadians say absolutely cracks me up. This is one of my all-time favorites. He's mad, he's angry. So he says what a 3-year-old would and calls him a dumbhead.
And Dylan, dumbhead.
This might be my favorite insult ever because it's just so authentic and so Canadian. You know what? I think I'm a Jess Pettis fan after calling Dylan a dumbhead. But that was the end of the day for Jess Pettis. He called it, with the injuries. He probably shouldn't have been racing to begin with, so he's just taking a DNF in that moto. Dylan Wright, on the other hand, sees the opportunity. He knows he just put Jess Pettis down, so he knows he's way out of it. I don't think Dylan was in a good mindset. He was knocked out in that first moto. Concussions don't go away in a couple hours. They just don't. So he's out there riding like a madman, carving through the field. He gets up to 4th place. And clearly, the pace he's running, he's going to win this moto. And then he goes off track, hits hay bales, he hits a course worker and a tree. And I'm sorry, with the tragedies we've had in the sport recently, when I saw him laying by that tree, it was terrifying. I was like, oh no, how bad is this? Is he going to be okay? But the bike's laying on him. A course worker flips it off of him. Then they cut away from the camera. The announcers are very concerned about his health, and oh my gosh. All of a sudden he's back out on the track and charging. He ended the moto in 4th place. But Canada, you guys just will not be outdone with the drama. Then he gets penalized for getting outside assistance. My question is, was it the guy that lifted the bike off of him? Is that outside assistance? Or did his mechanic or somebody actually help him get going? If it was just for lifting the bike off of the guy when he's unconscious, yeah, that's ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure that one of the mechanics helped fire up the bike, and that's what he got penalized for. So he ended up that moto in 16th. And honestly, for him to even get 16th, yeah, that's fine. The dude should not have continued. He probably shouldn't have been racing after the first moto crash where he was KO'd. He definitely shouldn't have been racing after the second moto. Even Galdi's like, I don't think he should be out there. But at the same time, this dude's putting life and limb on the line to get a 4th place finish, like literally risking his future. And then to have that taken away from outside assistance, oh, that's tough. That stings a little bit. I mean, I get it, I understand it, but I also feel bad for Dylan Wright. I also know it's probably the correct decision. It's a tough one. Oh, and did I mention this whole moto? Quentin Amiot's riding around there like he's James Bond with smoke screens coming behind him. His bike was smoking for 20 minutes. I have no idea how it had that much smoke to put out, and it kept running. And he ended up like 3rd. If you showed me a bike that smoked that much and said they're doing 20 minutes on a sandy, muddy track, no chance. No chance that bike makes it. Not only did it make it, he got 3rd. And I've been a little bit critical of Liam, the other announcer with Ryan Gauld, but I'm starting to come around. He's pretty funny. He called Tanner Ward. He has some of the best unintentional humor. He makes me laugh. He referred to Tanner Ward as baby daddy.
Super excited for her baby daddy there, just having a solid weekend.
Who calls a grown man baby daddy? Are you kidding me? But I got a kick out of it. It was pretty funny. And a side note, Tanner Ward, 1-1 on the day. He is your red plate holder. And this dude, he started the season kind of disrespected. Phil Nicoletti came up out of retirement and he said he was concerned with Dylan Wright and Jess Pettis and dismissed Tanner Ward. That pissed off Tanner Ward. He's out there to show, no, I am a contender. And I'll tell you what, the way this thing's going, don't be shocked if he's your Canadian champion. There's a lot of rounds and he's going to have to find some speed, but with Jess Pettis and Dylan Wright literally imploding themselves, he might win this whole thing because Tanner Ward seems to have Phil Nicoletti covered. Phil is looking like a guy here 5 rounds in who was retired in the offseason. He doesn't look like the Phil Nicoletti that went up there and battled for wins a few years ago. Any race that has Phil in it, it's better. So I'm glad he's out there racing. Hope he stays safe, makes some money, and has some fun. Do you work at a company where you're in charge of logistics, and are you in charge of finding shipping companies and saving your company money? You should reach out to Precision Transport. They will save you and your company some money, probably get you a promotion. They're just good people that believe in customer service and reasonable pricing. Hit up pretransport.com. Alias MX gear. Do not miss out on your 25.5 gear. This stuff is lightweight, high quality, and damn, it looks good. So head over to Alias MX and get your motocross gear. So a few weeks ago, we had the tragedy at Mammoth Mountain with future star of the sport, Aidan Zingg. He crashed, passed away. We were waiting the autopsy results. I hadn't heard anything. And then USA Today printed the results. They spoke with his mother, and I'm not sure how you say this, but I think it's called a cardiac tamponade. I don't know how to say that. I'm sure I got that wrong, but what that is your heart has a little sac around it, and what happens is when fluid gets in between that sac and your heart, it causes cardiac arrest. This can happen many different ways: infection, all sorts of different stuff, or trauma, and that's most likely what this was caused by: trauma to the heart, which started getting blood or some sort of fluid in between there, and it caused cardiac arrest. It's tragic, it's horrible. But I also think it's very important that we find out the reason this happened so we can take measures to try and prevent this in the future. This is a dangerous sport. We have airbags, we have chest protectors, we have different things that we try and use to stay safe in a sport that is inherently dangerous. So I want to give credit to his mother for letting people know what happened. Thank you so much. We are so grateful, and maybe that information will help somebody else wear the proper protection or prevent this in the future. So I just want to say thank you to the Zingg family for letting this information out there. And I find it strange that some of the major media outlets, Racer X, Vital MX, and these ones that are all tied with the promoters, they haven't said a word. They haven't released this information. And I have to ask myself why. It's the same narrative. They don't want their product, their people, us, who love this sport, who spend all our money chasing the dream, to possibly say, oh no, it's dangerous, and pull their family out of the sport. They're dumb. That won't happen. We know this is dangerous. We've known it's dangerous, and we will do it anyway. But we should address these types of things, bring them to light, and let's talk about them. Let's find ways. Let's get airbags. Let's figure out ways to make this inherently dangerous sport a little bit safer. I find it disgusting that they don't talk about it because they're worried about their bottom line, their money. They're worried about us and our dream. Is talking about it going to scare us from spending our money and competing in their races and buying tickets and loving this sport? That's why they're afraid to bring attention to this. And that's just wrong. It's just wrong. Shocker, we know this. People know this. It is dangerous. We're going to do it anyway. Let's give Aidan and his family the respect and the credit they deserve for releasing this information, and do what we can to take this information and make it a little bit better for everybody. Anyway, thank you, members. I appreciate you guys so much. I did have to laugh. I got some funny screen names that joined after I did the video, the members only video about the 10 worst people. I'm guessing one of those is MX Sports. Those guys just can't seem to get enough of my videos. And hey, you know what? I appreciate them. So thank you guys. One of you members is going to be winning some Nano-Xtreme this month. We'll help you with your pain. One of you guys will randomly get some Nano-Xtreme at the end of this month. And in December, we're giving away the electric motorcycle. This thing is so much fun. I have a Sur-On and I have the new Power Sports XQi3. I've been testing them head to head. It is better than the Sur-On. It's easier to ride. It's a little bit faster. And the linkage works so much better than the straight shock on the Sur-On. And you know what? They cost a little bit less. So check out new Power Sports, get your XQi3. Here's your member of the day.
Let's start this off by saying, we got them. the illegal sale of American motorcycle racing. I present a case that reveals how the American Motorcyclist Association's 2008 sale of its racing properties constituted an illegal transfer of public trust into private hands. My name's B Mazy, and I'm here to stir shit up. So I made a song for you guys. You know, it's crazy that the riders still gotta pay to race, even though these guys are just filling their pockets because they're money hungry, greedy, stupid mother ex-circus owners, but still got the same mindset for the Supercross. Screw Feld, screw the AMA, and screw Rob Dingman.